Hey there, go-getters! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Desi and I am a life coach helping you live a productive and full life. So if you've been following along, I have been talking about time management over these last few videos. We have covered changing your perspective on time management. We have covered establishing what the good life is to you. We've talked about routines and schedules. And today what I want to talk about is finding those little tiny bits of time that you can give back to yourself. Now, I know a lot of you out there think to yourself, yeah, self-care would be great, but when am I ever going to have the time to do that? Or I don't have the money for self-care. I can't always go out and get a pedicure whenever I want to. Self-care is more than just spending money on yourself. Self-care is more than just setting aside huge chunks of time to be with yourself. Self-care is all-encompassing in so many different aspects. In fact, one of my favorite quotes that I have hanging up at my desk at work, I have hanging up in my kitchen, is eating well is a beautiful form of self-care. And it is so true. Anyways, today we're gonna again cover finding those little pockets of time. When I first read I Know How She Does It by Laura Vanderkam, that was when my kids were very young, or much younger than they are now, and had a lot more needs of my attention, right? I had a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they just constantly wanted mom, and they needed me all the time, which is great. Sometimes I kind of miss those days. Other days, I don't miss them at all. Anyways, so with that was back when I couldn't figure out how to incorporate self-care in. It seemed like I was working all the time, like crazy hours. And it seemed like, when I wasn't at work, I was just at home giving to my boyfriend, giving to my kids, giving to anything and everything but myself. That book helped me really focus on finding little nuggets of time that I could appreciate that allowed me to be by myself. So I want to talk about that today. Do you have a little bit of time in the morning when you're getting ready? Do you get to shower? Do you have a drive to work without kids? Maybe it's after you've dropped them off. What are those little bits of time that you can really change your perspective on and allow you to really kind of soak in those moments by yourself? For me, it was that little bit of time that I got to get myself ready in the morning. It wasn't a lot of time. I was usually really rushed. I was back before I was waking up at a consistent time and had a consistent morning routine. But nonetheless, I at least got 20 minutes to get myself ready and get out the door. So I started to change my thoughts on how I have to do this for everybody, and I have to do this for my kids, and I have to do this for, so-and-so. And I started thinking about, wow, this is great. I get 20 minutes to myself to make sure that I feel confident today. Or, wow, this is so great. I get 5 minutes in a hot shower, and I'm so thankful for these 5 minutes. Or, I'm driving to work and I get to spend the next 15 minutes listening to my absolute favorite songs. And that is awesome. Any way that you can find little nuggets of time that instead of thinking to yourself or thinking about in those moments all the other things you have to get done, take a moment just to be grateful and feel that self-time, okay? Feel that self-care. Really think about wow, I'm in the car right now, and if I want to, it's pure silence. Are you walking to the mailbox by yourself today? Are you, going to the bathroom by yourself today? Is your little one taking a nap and you have a gazillion chores you need to get done, but you're just gonna sit and do what you want for a few minutes? Well, now something that's really important is don't think about maybe, Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever social media that you're on, maybe it's Pinterest. Don't think of that as self-care unless you're specifically setting aside the time to do that. And the reason I say that is because those are productivity killers. If you are mindlessly checking Facebook, if you are mindlessly checking Instagram, that is very different than intentionally taking the time to catch up on social media. I have found that those types of apps, especially Candy Crush, I don't know if any of you other people play Candy Crush, but man, That was a big one for me. And I was like obsessed, like crazy. Like I had to uninstall the game because I would just find myself playing and playing and playing. And before I knew it, it had been 25 minutes that I had been playing Candy Crush. Do you know how many other things I could get done in 25 minutes? A lot more productive things than Candy Crush. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad game or that that's not a great way to relieve stress. What I am saying though is that you are doing that mindlessly and you are doing that without doing it intentionally to de-stress, then that will suck up free time like nobody's business. Not to mention, if you aren't living with intention and you aren't living with, making sure that those things you're doing those on purpose and you're doing them for a reason, then you'll start to get resentful. You will start to get jealous. You will start to see everybody else's highlight reel or political opinions or gun, views, and you will start to get angry. You will start to get frustrated, and that's going to put you in a completely different mindset than if you go in thinking like, I wonder what everyone's up to. I'm going to check it out for 10 minutes and then I'm going to move on with the rest of my day. So don't be fooled by this keeping up with everybody else. Remember that it's perfectly fine to play Candy Crush. It's not okay for me because I'm kind of crazy, but it is perfectly fine to play those games. It is perfectly okay to get into your social media accounts and check out and see how everybody else is doing. You want to see what your friends are doing? Awesome. That's great. It's a wonderful way to check it out and make sure that you're, still appreciating everybody, giving everybody their, loves through your comments, but do it with intention. Set a timer. Because when you stop going in there mindlessly, you start to appreciate those little moments that you actually have. So it'll really help you. It'll really change your perspective. You'll go from, I don't have enough time for the things I want to do, to I can fit in 10 minutes worth of things right now. I can fit in a quick, meditation. I can fit in 5 pages of a book that I really want to read. It really will help you. I promise. It has helped me tremendously. So I hope that you find value in that. If you start paying attention to the things that you're doing every single day, you'll be amazed at how much time you spend doing things that don't even matter to you. Once you start living with intention and you start doing the things that matter to you, you're going to start showing up in such a beautiful way. You're going to start radiating a wonderful energy that people are going to want to be around. And that's so cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. You have a great rest of your day.